All right, so we have some Indiana Fever player news. Natasha Howard has signed. Now, I want to make this completely clear. When it comes to Caitlin Clark, I don't want Natasha Howard anywhere near her in basketball terms. Now, I'm not talking about as a person. I'm talking about Natasha Howard, the basketball player. I don't want anywhere near Caitlin Clark in an Indiana Fever uniform on Caitlin Clark's team. She was a bad fit. She was one of the people that hoodwinked us. Well, she didn't bamboozle us like Dewana.
I don't want Natasha Howard anywhere near Caitlin Clark in basketball terms. This has nothing to do with her as a person, strictly as a player. From a basketball standpoint, Natasha Howard was never a good fit for the Indiana Fever, especially with Clark entering the picture. In my view, her style and presence on the court clashed with what the Fever needed and disrupted the team's rhythm. Let me be crystal clear, basketball-wise, it just didn't work. From day one, the fit felt off, and her impact didn't complement Clark or the system the team was trying to build. Now that everything has played out, the truth about how those dynamics affected Clark's early momentum is finally out in the open. The whole situation turned into a messy storyline for the league. Player decisions, contract choices, and team chemistry issues all piling up until it felt like the season itself was under pressure. It was a rough combination of mismatched pieces that created unnecessary turmoil.
Going overseas, and she hadn't, processed everything that happened with the WNBA season, and she was going to go overseas and figure it out from there. Now, us fans, we let it be known. Congratulations, go overseas, play well, get your money. Just don't come back to the Indiana Fever. You are not wanted here. No disrespect. You can play on another team. You just was getting in the way of Caitlin Clark. You was trying to dribble the ball up the floor. You just was doing too much, and it was a bad fit. And I think Stephanie White and company should wear a bunch of the blame for that entire.
In my view, Howard's presence created a clear on-court mismatch that disrupted the rhythm Caitlin Clark was supposed to establish. She wasn't just an awkward fit within the system. Her style of play often clashed with what the team needed to grow. While some players might check out entirely, Howard at least put in the effort. But those efforts sometimes felt counterproductive. It often looked like she was trying to take on responsibilities that didn't align with her strengths. Almost as if she were stepping into a lead guard role at a time when the Fever were preparing to build around a true point guard of the future. That kind of disconnect made it difficult for the unit to find cohesion, and many fans picked up on the tension right away.
The lady got here and was talking about winning the damn MVP. First, girl, MVP? You like the fifth option on this team. What you talking about, MVP? That was a bad sign right there. We should have already known what type of time it was going to be with her. She dribbling the ball up the court. She's flying, legs flying one way, dreads flying the other. It just was a bad fit. She can't shoot. She can't shoot threes at all, so there was no floor spacing. Now we got Aaliyah Boston trying to be a hub in Stephanie White's putrid trash offense. And it just was bad all the way around.
When news broke that Natasha Howard was heading to Sean's squad in the WCBA, taking her game overseas for another offseason stint, no one was shocked. It's a familiar part of her yearly routine. But this time, the reaction from fans felt noticeably different. There was this collective exhale, almost a mix of relief and a straightforward message. The tone echoed across the fan base. Congrats, hope you thrive overseas, secure the bag, but please don't return to the Indiana Fever. It was unusually direct, even blunt, but not rooted in bitterness. Instead, it reflected a growing belief among many fans that her chapter with Clark's Fever had run its course. The message wasn't personal, it was practical, supportive of her success elsewhere, but firm in the idea that for the team to evolve around Clark, the partnership simply needed to end.
Aaliyah Boston trying to be a hub in Stephanie White's putrid trash offense. And it just was bad all the way around. I'm very clear about the six we need to bring back. That is Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hall, Sophie Cunningham, and Michaela Timpson. Those need to be the six that the Fever protect in the expansion draft, and we go from there. Those are the six that need to return to this team, and that's that. Natasha Howard is not a part of this team going forward, and I will be livid if she is.
The core issue, at least from a basketball standpoint, wasn't about personality. It was about philosophy and role clarity. In my view, Natasha Howard often played as though she were a primary ball handler, frequently bringing the ball up the floor despite the team not needing that from her. This wasn't a roster searching for a point guard. This was a team gearing up for Caitlin Clark's arrival and designing its identity around her. On top of that, Howard's inconsistent three-point shooting limited the floor spacing, which only clogged the offensive flow. The result was an offense that felt suffocated at times, leaving Aaliyah Boston to navigate an already tight system that only amplified these weaknesses. From my perspective, the mismatch was obvious early on. The way Howard seemed to see her role, as someone with star-level responsibilities, didn't align with what the team actually needed from her, making her more of a fifth option in the larger scheme. That disconnect was a warning sign from the beginning.
To this team, and that's that. Natasha Howard is not a part of this team going forward, and I will be livid if she is on this roster moving forward. But we're talking about moving forward, and we don't know if we'll actually be moving forward because we can't even get a damn CBA deal done. We can't get a deal done. It is the 22nd. It's the 22nd. It's 8 days left. We just saw the WNBA put out a $1.1 million offer, which what we thought.
From my perspective, the warning signs appeared the moment she arrived and made what felt like an overly bold declaration. She wanted to win the MVP. Ambition is one thing, but the statement came across as wildly out of sync with her actual role on a rebuilding team. It raised a fair question. How could someone who realistically projected as a fifth option set a personal goal so disconnected from the team's larger priorities? To many fans, that comment wasn't just confidence. It was a hint of a deeper mismatch. It signaled a player whose individual aspirations might collide with the collective direction the franchise needed, especially with a generational talent like Clark on the horizon. In hindsight, it almost reads like a signpost pointing straight toward the friction that ultimately unfolded.
It's 8 days left. We just saw the WNBA put out a $1.1 million offer, which what we thought as fans, we thought when we saw the 1.1, and I'm saying us because I know y'all thought it too. When y'all saw 1.1, we thought that was the base salary. We didn't know it could get up to 1.1 on some NFL incentives type stuff. If you make the All-Star team, if you make first team All WNBA, if you win All-Star game MVP, if you win most improved, if you win MVP, if you win the first round, if you win the second round.